Good afternoon, everyone. Wekiva High School welcomes you to Mustang Field, where it is a beautiful day for baseball on, did I hear it's opening day? That can't be right. We're going into the second half of the season here in Season 18 of Mustang Baseball, and we welcome our guests from Evans High School. They are the Trojans. And they'll be taking on your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Let's meet the lineups for both teams. We'll begin with our guests from Evans. And we'll start with their leadoff hitter, center fielder, number 7, Tarek Bridges. Second in the lineup for Evans is shortstop, number 3, Kayland Walker. Batting third is first baseman, number 9, Manuel Contreras. The cleanup hitter for the Trojans, third baseman, for third baseman number 13, Adrian Rojas. In the 5-hole and on the pitcher's mound to start today's game, number 8, Zachary Rennert. Batting sixth for the Trojans and behind the plate at the bottom of each inning, number 4, Isaiah Robinson. Seventh in the lineup for the Trojans is right fielder number 12, Dion Holmes. Batting eighth is left fielder number 1, CJ Daniels. And finally for the Trojans, batting ninth is second baseman number 5, Zaire Cornelius. And the Trojans are managed by Coach Harvin. And now, let's meet the starting lineup for your Wekiva High School Mustangs. Their leadoff hitter is third baseman, number 2, Caden Lopez. Second in the lineup for the Mustangs is designated hitter, number 4, Brady Rennert. Third in the lineup for the Mustangs is first baseman number 12, Jaden Graham. The cleanup hitter for the Mustangs and on the pitcher's mound to start today's game, number 20, Emil Flacker. In the 5-hole is shortstop number 9, Darrell Martinez. Batting sixth for the Mustangs is second baseman number 6, Enrique Polanco. Seventh in the lineup for the Mustangs and behind the plate at the top of each inning, number 3, Cody Bowen. In the 8-hole, right fielder number 17, Austin Schwartz. And batting ninth for the Mustangs is left fielder number 15, Sean John. And fielding for Rennert at center field is number 1, Noah James. The Mustangs are managed by head coach Brian Tatai with assistant coach Sean Irons. And now we invite you to please stand and remove your hats as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars on your favorite mobile device. We also simulcast. If you're not a member there, you can get our regular season games absolutely free on our YouTube channel, Wekiva Sports. Just open up the YouTube app on your favorite computer, smart TV, or mobile device and search for Wekiva Sports. It should come right up. And we want to welcome those of you who have done just that. We apologize, our video feed is a little bit delayed getting set up today. We are just connecting the last of the doohickeys, and we will have that video feed for you up in just a moment. In the meantime, I will introduce my colleague, Neil Fisher, a longtime Popka sports journalist, who will be giving you the radio call of today's game just for these first couple of pitches until we get those last few wires connected and we get our video feed going here from Mustang Field.
We are in the bottom of the first inning from Mustang Field, right next to State Route 439. No score. Evans, the visiting team, now in the field. They were able to get a runner over to third, but nobody on, not advance them to 90 feet. And now Wekiva in the bottom of the first inning. 2 outs. They have a runner at first.
And just a quick programming note, we are working on getting our cameras set up here. Seem to be having a technical difficulty with the backstop camera, so we at least got the first baseline camera going. We know that's not the optimal angle for you to be looking at, but we are going to keep working on that backstop camera, see if we can't get that going for you real quick here.
And now at the plate is Emil Flaquer, the pitcher. So now a chance to help his own cause. Runner at first with 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning. No score. First pitch. Slammed over there into foul two. No. Or at least I didn't see it. I didn't take any tape off.
There's one cord that doesn't work, and I put the tape around it, so I remember which one it is. I'm wondering if that's the one we got.
Well,
I'm going to run another game. It is not working.
Reinert gets his sign. And strike on the outside corners. So an 0-2 count now to Emil Flaquer. Quick throw over to second base. Reinert delivers. That ball whacked into foul territory, so the count remains 1-2 from Mustang Field. Wekiva looking to up its record. It comes in with a 5-12 record. Evans looking to do the same, a 1-9 record. So your defensive lineup we'll get that in just one moment here as a 1-2 delivery. And we're not going to get that delivery. Our umpire calls timeout. Pitch gets away from the catcher, and both runners advance. So now runners at second and third. Wekiva with an opportunity in the bottom of the first to draw first blood and set the tone for this game. Back to work, Reinert goes. Grounder over to the shortstop. That's Rojas. Scoops it up. Bad throw to first. Bounces in front of Contreras. 1 run in. And Reinert will be held at second. So 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first. On the air, the throwing error. Now stepping up at the plate is Martinez, the shortstop. He looks at strike 1. Connects on that, lifts it up to the shortstop, which is dropped. Walker unable to corral it. The good news, well, there's going to be an out as Martinez tried to take second base after he reached first. Not sure what. Well, Martinez is actually at second base. And a 2-0 lead now for Wekiva as Reiner steals home plate. The ball was dropped momentarily by the catcher, and Reiner takes advantage of it, bolting towards home plate as soon as that ball hit the ground. And now a 3-0 lead as the ball gets by the catcher, this time all the way to the backstop, allowing Martinez to score. So strike one, the first pitch fouled off to Polanco. And now we have our defensive lineup for Evans behind the plate. That is Robinson. Contreras at first. Cornelius at second base. The hole scooped up there by Walker. The shortstop over to first. Great job of getting to that ball and making the throw, but the throw itself was wild over to first. So again, reset that defensive lineup as Wekiva now with a runner at second base, 2 outs, bottom of the first inning, a 3-0 lead. Robinson behind the plate, Contreras at first, Cornelius in the hole, a.k.a. second base, Walker at shortstop, Rojas on the hot corner. Your outfielders left to right, Daniels, Bridges, and Robinson. And now stepping into the plate is Bowen, the catcher, number 3, runner at second base with 2 outs, 3-0 lead for Wekiva in the bottom of the first inning. Evans had a chance to score. They got a runner over to third base. Unfortunately for them, the runner reached second base with 2 outs, and they were unable to take that next 90 feet. As ball 1. Catches the outside corner at the knees. So 1-1 count. Reiner getting the time. Everybody back to your assigned positions. As Bowen smacks that ball over to Walker. Walker this time not only scoops it up, but the throw to first. So the inning does come to an end, but not before Wekiva takes advantage of a couple of Evans miscues and turns them into a 3-0 lead. Top of the second when we come back from Mustang Field.
That's my runs, hits, errors. 3 runs.
3 hits and I believe 1 hit. I wasn't keeping up with it.
I saw 1 error when I was over here from Evans. So
Yeah,
at least 1.
there was
2 errors?
I believe there were 2 errors.
Okay. Evans, you said had 1 hit?
Wekiva had 1 hit.
Has 1 hit.
Evans does not have a hit.
Haven't had any errors?
No.
Yeah, you had the dud cable, that's why it wasn't working.
Okay. Well, I did not see a blue. Was there a blue tape
Yeah,
on
blue
it?
tape on it. I mean, it's a lot of it is peeled off.
Oh, okay.
There's still some.
Huh? No, I do. By the way, Reinert's pitching. The guy who used to play here. Guy. So the brothers are on the same teams.
Did you see Tay said that
The email, yes. Unfortunately, I don't know where. I must have left it on my desk. I printed out everything I needed and it's not here.
As we enter the top of the second inning, the Trojans begin in the 5th position in their lineup with pitcher number 8, Zachary Reinick.
And the Evans Trojans also facing a 3-0 deficit. Welcome to Mustang Field as the count now 0-2. On the leadoff hitter here in the top of the second inning. Kaivo's pushing 3 against. Pushing 3 runs in the first inning. Reinert, sharp hit, but in foul territory. Nice scoop up there for Graham. Unfortunately, doesn't count because it's in foul territory. So that is Flacker on the mound, excuse me, and he gives up his first hit of the inning to his ex-teammate Reinert. Reinert rounds second. He's on his way, rounds first. The tag at second. Safe. So give Reinert credit. That looked like he was going to be out. The ball did get there before Reinert. But
Reinert picks up the double as he is called safe at second base. Beating the throw, checking in as a courtesy runner for him is number 18, Devontae McClain. Next at the plate for Evans will be catcher number 4, Isaiah Robinson.
So Robinson steps in with that runner at second base now, the leadoff double, and he looks at ball one. And Bowen did a nice job of initially stopping that ball, but he was unable to corral it quick enough and took a couple seconds off, and Reiner took advantage, and now he's at third base with nobody out. Golden opportunity for Evans to get their first run and cut into this lead. It won't happen in that pitch as Flaquer whips that offering by him. High, hard heat. And make that a 1-2 count. Runner at third base, nobody out, top of the second. 3-0 lead for Wekiva from Mustang Field. And the delivery from Flaquer. That'll catch the outside corner. He evens the count now at 2-2. Ball into foul territory, giving chase to no avail. That's Graham. Graham, you're your first baseman. Polanco at second base. In the hole on the left side is Martinez. The hot hole is Lopez behind the plate. The backstop is Bowen. And your outfield left to right, John, James, and Schwartz, trying to keep this a 3-0 lead in the top of the second inning. The delivery from Flaquer in the dirt, but swung at. And there's the tag. So Robinson struck out. Third strike was dropped, then thrown to first. Bowen to Graham. Reiner tried to sneak in from third base, and he was tagged out. So in essence, that's a double play, although obviously not the most traditional or old-fashioned. And now 2 outs in the top of the third. Wekiva still holding the 3-0 lead. They were able to avoid that run coming in, and now stepping up is Holmes, the right fielder. And that'll be strike one. Evans getting a runner to third base in both of the innings so far, but unable to advance that final 90 feet. And still looking for the first run as ball one, a 1-1 count now to Holmes. Thank you for joining us on this Thursday evening and tonight from Mustang Field. The 429 overlooking the ballpark as the count goes 2-1. So I'm Neil Fisher. Flaquer gets his sign. And he'll even the count at 2-2. Holmes taking all the way. Contact, and that's a slap into right field where Schwartz camps under and gets that third out. So could have been a disastrous inning with the leadoff hitter Reiner getting a double, but Flaquer works out of the jam, aided by a couple of mental mistakes by Evans, and the lead still 3-0 in favor of Wekiva as we head into the bottom of the second inning. Where's my pen?
Next up for the Mustangs, they return to the top of the card with third baseman number 2, Caden Lopez.
Did you see how Schwartz got on? We are in the top of the second inning. Wekiva with the 3-0 lead. That's Wekiva at the plate, so excuse me, we are in the bottom of the second inning. They have a runner at third base. That's Schwartz, who led off the inning with a single. Evans, the opponent here at Mustang Field. Wekiva looking to get that 6th win of the season against 12 losses, and that should get in at least one run. Yep, it is. Well, it's not going to get anything in initially, but then the wild throw. So 2 errors on that one play. When all said and done, it's a 4-0 lead. Schwartz crossing home plate and Lopez winding up at third base in the top of the second inning.
Schwartz comes home on the throwing error, and meanwhile, Lopez is safe at third. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, designated hitter number 4, Brady Reinert.
So Brady Reinert, he steps in. As you heard Mark Barchi say, that's the other voice you're hearing, our public address announcer, as well as my on-air partner. He's reached base in his first at-bat in the first inning. And he'll take ball 1. Chance to get this lead up to 5-0, runner at third with only 1 out. And speaking of Reinert, his older brother, who used to be a Wekiva Mustang, on the mound, and gets the younger Reinert way out in front of that, the slow curveball.
Yeah, do not adjust your television set. The graphic is accurate. Pitching, Reinert. Batting, Reinert.
And it looks like the pitching Reinert's going to get the better of this time. However, the younger Reinert, the batting Reinert, does get his job done, which is to get the run home. So there'll be 2 outs now, but the 5-0 lead. Give the RBI to Brady Reinert.
The play is made at first on the throw from Reinert to Contreras. However, the run does score as Lopez comes home, and the Mustangs take a 5-0 lead. Next to the plate for Wekiva, first baseman, number 12, Jaden Graham.
And so Graham will be at the plate with nobody on base and 2 outs in the top or bottom of the second inning. Wekiva sent 7 men to the plate in that first inning, scoring 3 runs. And as you just saw, they now added a couple more for the 5-0 lead. Temperature's still about 80 degrees at Mustang Field. As that ball hit hard and well down the right field line by Graham. It's in there. He rounds first and slides into second. Didn't need to. There was no throw, but still looked really nice.
Graham with a double into right field. He's safe at second. Next to the plate for the Mustangs, pitcher number 20, Emil Flacker.
So Flacker, as you heard Mark say, the pitcher, certainly To use the old quote, an opportunity to help his own cause.
Yeah, the Mustangs using the DH rule a little bit differently than maybe the NL intended. They are not replacing their pitcher with a DH. They're actually replacing their center fielder with a DH. So the pitcher in the batting lineup, even though he doesn't have to be.
And the pitcher, Flacker,
ducks out of the way of that one.
Ball one.
It's a wild pitch, and it will advance Graham to third. Of course, it's opening day for Major League Baseball. Many of you may have multiple screens going, and you don't offend us if you do. If we're completely honest, we might have an extra screen going ourselves.
Yes, and that's what's wonderful, at least in my life, about being alive in 2025. The technology has made it possible to watch multiple sporting events, or sometimes I even do watch entertainment like concerts, along with my favorite sitcoms all at one time.
But in any case, we are glad that you are diverting at least part of your attention to us here at Mustang Field. And there's the 6-3. Played out just like it was supposed to in practice. The throw is made from Kaland to Manuel, and that will take us to the end of the second inning. In that half inning, 2 runs scored on 1 hit with 2 Trojan errors, leaving 1 on base. And the score now stands 5-0 Mustangs at the end of 2 innings. We'll be back with more from Mustang Field in just a moment. We apologize for the initial technical difficulties. We know we had a blank screen with a scoreboard at the start of the game, and then had a bad camera angle for about half an inning there, but we've got everything in place now. We've got 3 working camera angles. Everyone is situated. Rosters are loaded. Graphics are working, so we should have smooth sailing for the rest of our time here at Mustang Field this afternoon. We appreciate you joining us on a beautiful day for baseball, and we will be back in just a moment. Just a word of caution. During the breaks between half innings, you may hear silence. It does not mean your audio is broken. Do not adjust your television set. We just have to mute the audio when we go to break so that we do not run afoul of YouTube's copyright policies when we play music here at the ballpark. But otherwise, we look forward to joining you again in just about 60 seconds.
Wells just hit a home run.
As we enter the top of the third inning, the Trojans will begin in the 8th position of their lineup with left fielder number 1, C.J. Daniels.
And Daniels will be followed by Cornelius and Bridges. We're in the top of the third inning, a 5-0 lead for Wekiva. And Flacker plunks Bridges. So
Daniels will take
on
first base on a hit batsman. Next to the plate will be second baseman number 5, Zaire Cornelius.
Wekiva scoring 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second to take that 5-0 lead. But Evans, for the third time in 3 innings, has an opportunity to cut into that lead. The first 2 innings, they got runners to third base. And now the leadoff hitter for the second inning in a row reaches base against Flacker. Wekiva's ace on the mound today. And speaking of Flair, he currently has 51 strikeouts. 85's your record, so certainly a chance for their record to go down this year. Zion McCoy currently the holder. The throw down to second. Easy stolen base there. Bowen unable to get anything on the throw. And Flair is 47th in the state of Florida, 169th in the total nation for strikeouts. So certainly Wekiva relying on the man on the mound today, ML Flair. As the count now 1-1. And low. So a 2-1 count with the runner at second base, that being Daniels. And the pitch from Flair. And that will not find its mark. And now runners at first and second with nobody out.
Cornelius walks to first. And that puts runners at 1 and 2 as we return to the top of the lineup card with center fielder number 7, Tariq Bridges.
So, reiterate, Evans has had runners at second base in both of the first 2 innings, but this is the first time they've gotten 2 base runners on. Still down 5-0. Count. Two count on Bridges, the leadoff hitter. Runners at second and third and nobody out, and make that 1 out as Flair, Emil Flair, the ace.
Flacco records the swinging strikeouts, but 1 away for the Trojans. Next to the plate, shortstop, number 3, Kalen Walker.
So Daniels led off the inning for Evans. He was hit by a pitch, and then Cornelius followed with a walk. Both of them advanced on a double steal. And then you just saw that third strike. That's how we got to where we are now. As Flair still needs 2 more outs. And he'll get 1 strike closer, catching the inside corner. And speaking of Flair, he has certainly been the ace. Wekiva's been relying on him as the count now goes 0-2. A repeat. Count remains 0-2. So Flair, currently he had 51 strikeouts coming into today's game. And now back-to-back strikeouts make that 55 for the ace of Wekiva. He is on pace to break the record. That would be 85, currently held by Zion McCoy.
Flacco again records the strikeout. 2 away now for the Trojans. Next to the plate will be first baseman, number 9, Manuel Contreras.
And Flaquer also 47th in the state of Florida, 169th in the U.S. in total strikeouts. So certainly you see it has not disappointed today so far as that ball dropped into foul territory in the 0-1 count on Contreras, the first baseman and number 3 batter. Wekiva scored 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second to take the 5-0 lead. It's a beautiful day here at Mustang Field with the 429 in the background. Can't ask for a better day for baseball. In the low 80s when we started, as the count now goes to 0-2. Dropped about 5 degrees, partly cloudy skies, a slight breeze coming in from left field, Mark.
Yeah, certainly, like you said, you can't ask for a better afternoon for baseball. Here comes the pitch, swinging strike, and there he goes.
So
that takes us to the middle of the third inning, 3 up and 3 down as Flacker records 3 strikeouts, no runs, no hits, no errors, none left on base, and the score remains 5-0 Mustangs at the end of 2.5 innings. Back with more from Mustang Field in a moment. As we enter the bottom of the third inning, the Mustangs will begin in the 5th position of their lineup with shortstop, number 9, Terrell Martinez.
And as we begin the third inning, Wekiva certainly has also positioned itself to get 6th win of the season against 12 losses. Evans comes in at a 1-9 record, and Zach Reinert delivers. Ball 1 to Martinez. He'll be followed by Polanco and Bowen. 5-0 lead for Wekiva as we begin the top or bottom of the third inning. Ball 2. Wekiva and Evans did play earlier in the season, about 2.5 weeks ago, Mark. That was during the Metro Conference Championship Tournament with Wekiva taking a victory.
Fouled away. 2-1 count. So yeah, Neil, the Metro Conference Tournament went about as well as Wekiva would have expected, as they picked up a quality win there against Evans. And so now they face them as part of the regular season schedule. Of course, the Metro Conference Tournament, you do not know at the beginning of the season who you're going to be playing. That's why this ends up being kind of an odd schedule, is that's going to drop in fair territory. One might argue whether between second base and right field the Trojans could have gotten there, but nevertheless there was nobody under it, so that will score as a base hit for Martinez. Martinez safe at first on the single. Next at the plate for Wekiva, second baseman number 6, Enrique Polanco.
And Wekiva now 3 for 3 in terms of getting the leadoff hitter on base.
And we're going to get a easily stolen base. Meanwhile, Polanco telegraphs a bunt but doesn't go through with it.
And that previous game, which we were talking about, that was on March 7th. Wekiva taking a 7-6 victory. So Reinert gets his sign. Wekiva with the chance to add to that 5-0 lead now. It'll be a 1-1 count. Runner getting a pretty good lead there as the count goes 2-1. About 4 or 5 steps off. And we'll take it to 3-1. Nice job behind the plate there by Robinson to prevent Martinez from advancing another 90 feet. And that'll take the count to, nope, it's ball 4. So look for a minute there, a second, that was going to be a called strike, but Polanco lays off, and now runners at first and second for Wekiva.
Polanco walks to first. Runners at 1 and 2 now. Next at the plate for the Mustangs will be catcher number 3, Cody Bowen.
And strike ball 1 to Bowen, who's 0 for 1.
Yeah, not really a wild pitch as it was contained, but it was bobbled enough that it made the stolen bases easy work for both runners.
Second and third now, with still nobody out. Bowen, the third batter of the inning. The delivery from Reinert catches that outside corner, exactly what he needed now to make the count 1-1. And speaking, we've been talking throughout the game, Major League Baseball opening day, got a couple of finals coming in. 4-2, the Yankees over the Brewers. A 12-2 victory, Baltimore over Toronto as a quick throw down to third base. 5-2, Boston over Texas. 7-4, Indians over Royals. 3-1, Houston over the New York Mets. 6-4, San Francisco over Cincinnati as Reinert delivers. And way in front of that was Bowen. He did actually get some bad on the pitch, but certainly unable to drive it forward, and so a 2-2 count. And then the other final 8-1, the White Sox over the Angels. So quite a few games have already ended. A bit of a surprise, at least from my perspective, as we got another plunked batter. Bowen moves down to first. He'll load the bases. Nobody out.
Bowen will advance to first on the hit batsman, and that loads up the bases. As we move on to right fielder, number 17, Austin Schwartz.
So bases are now loaded, and most importantly, Mark, nobody out. Chance for Wekiva to do some big-time damage here. They're already up 5-0, scoring 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second.
Pitch number 1 is in the dirt.
And Zach Reinert, the pitcher on the mound for Evans. He's gone the distance. Of course, the former Mustang transferred this year. So certainly familiar settings for him inside this park. Perhaps maybe unfamiliar walking over to the third base dugout as the count now 1-1.
That's 2-0.
Excuse me, 2-0. So now the breeze is starting to pick up a little bit at Mustang Field. 2-1 count. Schwartz 1 for 1, singled in the second, scored the 4th run of the game for Wekiva. Delivery from Reinert. That ball smashed down the left field line. That's going to be a lot of damage. 1 run in, 2 runs in. At second base is Schwartz with the double. And now the 7-0 lead for Wekiva in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
2 RBI double in the books for Schwartz. As Martinez and Polanco come home, that makes it a 7-0 lead for the Mustangs. Runners remain at 2 and 3. Next at the plate for Wekiva, left fielder number 15, Sean John.
John stepping into the plate, 0 for 1 today, grounded out to the pitcher Reinert in the second inning. He looks at ball 1. As you just heard Mark say, the lead now 7-0. Wekiva continuing and consistently adding to that lead. Their first 3 men, they went up to the plate, reaching base. And to use the old saying, as the count goes 2-1, they never looked back. They haven't looked back since then. Evans has had some opportunities. It hasn't been a complete domination. They have put runners on third base in the first and second inning. As count 2-0. They had runners at first and second to start the last inning, the top of the 3rd. Got him to second and third with 1 out. As there's ball 4 to John. And now the bases are loaded. But then 3 straight strikeouts for Flaquer.
John walks to first. The bases are once again loaded. And next at the plate, we will be returning to the top of the lineup card with third baseman number 2, Caden Lopez. But first, these words from our management team.
So to finish that thought, Mark, since we do have a few minutes here with the confab on the mound, ML Flaquer came in with 51 strikeouts. He now has 56. 5 strikeouts today. Just to reiterate, best opportunity Evans had in the last inning, first and second, to start the inning, nobody out. And then 3 straight strikeouts from Flaquer. And that snuffed out what appeared to be a get back into this game inning for Evans. Certainly first and second, nobody out. You think at least 1 run would be able to come in. But that was not the case. Reinert remains in now after getting some advice.
So once again, the Mustangs are now returning to the top of the card with third baseman number 2, Caden Lopez.
Now Lopez steps in. He's 2 for 2 today in terms of reaching base. Of course, reached base on a single to begin the Wekiva attack as he looks at ball 1. Reached base in the second inning as well on a throwing error. Well, a fielding error, and then a throwing error added another run at that point. And now a 2-0 count. And Robinson scurrying back to prevent any advancement.
Of course, remember, a base on balls here is an automatic forced run.
A 1-0 count, bases loaded, nobody out.
And the 10th run on base for Wekiva. There's ball 3. Of course, NFHS rules, which the FHSA has adopted. The game a regulation game is 7 innings in high school baseball. However, it can be terminated at the 5th inning if the scoring differential is 10 runs or more. Which could really be 4.5 innings if it's the home team that's up. Waiting for the tag. There's the play, and the Mustangs will stay put.
Daniels coming up with that first out of the inning in a nice throw to hold
play is made for the Trojans in left field by Daniels. 1 away. All runners stay where they are. Next to the plate for Wekiva, designated hitter number 4, Brady Reinert.
Reinert stepping in. He's 1 for 2 today.
Yes, and now we once again have Rennert versus Rennert. And Brady Rennert currently sitting at 30 stolen bases on the season. The team record is 37, set last year by Miguel Acosta as he fouls away his first pitch. Brady is currently number 1 in Florida and number 17 in the United States for stolen bases. He has been as high as 1 in the United States this season before spring break. Of course, it's hard to keep pace with some of those traveling clubs that go on spring break tournaments when Wekiva did not do that, but still 17 in the country, 1 in the state.
Chop
Can't
ball
sneeze at
down,
that.
chop ball down to third base. Rojas gloves it and throws it home, but he's safe. So that'll make it 8-0.
Fielder's choice is attempted on the 5-2 at home. However, Bowen is ruled to have beaten the throw, and so that will put run number 8 on the board for Wekiva. Bases remain loaded. Next at the plate for Wekiva is first baseman number 12, Jaden Graham.
So Graham stepping in, and he's 2 for 2 today. And now the 8-0 lead for Wekiva. We're in the bottom of the third, 1-0 count. Evans coming in at 1-9, Wekiva at 5-12.
Fouled away to the backstop.
Take the count to 1-1. Two-one count now.
A good stop there by, I don't have last names in front of me, Isaiah at the plate.
That's Robinson.
Robinson, yes, as that easily could have been a passed ball, and that certainly would have resulted in runs scored. More contact by Graham. That one's going out of play, making it a 1-2 count. Excuse me, 2-2 count.
Graham steps back in, the first baseman. Bases loaded, nobody out. We're in the bottom of the third inning. 2 runs already in. 3 runs already in this inning, and an 8-0 lead. As Graham freezes at the plate. Reinert getting his first strikeout of the game.
Reinert records a strikeout, looking to put 2 away for the Mustangs. Bases remain loaded. Next to the plate for Wekiva, pitcher number 20, Emil Flacker.
So Flacker,
of course, is the Mustangs pitcher. Currently has 51 strikeouts on his way to the team record, which is 85, set in 2023 by Zion McCoy. Emil is currently 47th in Florida and 169th in the United States, and he's been as high as 7th and 18th, respectively, before spring break. So, again, excellent stats.
ball popped up, and Robinson tracks it down.
Foul-out catch is made by Isaiah Robinson behind the plate, and that will strand 3 on base for the Mustangs. Still, though, 3 runs scored on 2 hits, with 1 Trojan error, again leaving 3 on base, and the score now stands 8-0 Mustangs at the end of 3 innings. Back with more from Mustang Field right after a quick break. as we enter the top of the fourth inning. The Trojans will begin in the fourth position of their lineup with third baseman number 13, Adrian Rojas.
And Flaquer continues on the mound for Wekiva. He's gone the distance as strike one delivered to Rojas. The third baseman 0 for 1 today. 8-0 lead for Wekiva. The ball hit sharply on the nose by Rojas. And so once again, Evans gets that leadoff hitter on base. They've done it 3 straight innings now.
Rojas manages to keep it inside third base for a grounder single. He's safe at first. Next at the plate for the Trojans will be pitcher number 8, Zachary Reinhardt.
Reinhardt with a chance to help his own cause. It's been a rough day for Evans so far, trailing 8-0. And he is 1 for 1, doubled in his only at-bat. That was in the second inning. Led off that inning. And then Daniels led off the third inning with a hit batsman as the count ball low. 1-0 count. And then, of course, you just saw Rojas get the single for the third straight inning in which the leadoff hitter has reached base. So give Flaquer credit, though. Still be throwing that shutout as that's going to be easy. Well, it hit Reinhardt, so it doesn't really matter what Rojas does. End result, first and second, still nobody out. And now this is the second inning. The first 2 batters have reached base as well in a row.
Runners at 1 and 2 now on the hit batsman. Next at the plate will be catcher
Robinson.
number 4, Isaiah Robinson. Yeah, that was, while Flaquer has probably been the most consistent of the Mustang pitching staff, and as you heard a moment ago, I read some stats for him. That's probably the ugliest pitch that we've seen all day from him. That one's a lot better looking, though, as it picks up a called strike.
So 8-0 lead for Wekiva. They've scored 2 runs in the third, or 3 in the first. As the count now 1-1.
2 strikes in a row called.
0-2 count. 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, and 3 in the third. But Evans has had some opportunities. They certainly have not been in the position as the count goes 1-2 to take the lead. Oh, no, that was a strike. Strike 3. So
3 called strikes in a row will retire the batter and put 1 away for the Trojans. Next to the plate for Evans, right fielder, number 12, Deion Holmes.
So this 6th strike.
He's wearing number 10. But that's what Max Preps actually has him as number 10, and there is no number 10 on the roster, so we're going to assume that's Deion Holmes.
Okay. Holmes steps in. Runners at first and second with 1 out. Now Flaquer with 6 strikeouts during this game. A 0-1 count.
And as we mentioned earlier, 6 this game, came into the game with 51. So let's see, my math is right, 57 total. So he's well on his way toward that 85 record held by Zion McCoy. This is season 18 of Mustang baseball. 18 and a half now, if you will, since we're past spring break. And there's a called strike.
Bit of a odd reaction for
Tell you what,
out.
for as bad as the pitch that hit the batsman was, Flaquer has otherwise been brilliant in this half inning. So many called strikes.
Well, again, and truly a mark of an ace as there's strike 3.
Flaquer records the swinging strikeout. That'll put 2 away for the Trojans. Next at the plate for Evans, left fielder number 1, C.J. Daniels.
Yeah, the mark of an ace is you can get yourself out of trouble after you put yourself in trouble, and that's what Flaquer has done throughout the game. Reiterate, in the first inning and second inning. Evans, as he starts this at bat with ball one. Evans did get a runner over to third base, and then the last two innings, the third and then the fourth, we're in the fourth inning, the first two batters reaching base. Last inning, he struck out 3 in a row to quash that rally. What looked like at the time it was a 5-0 lead for Wekiva. Certainly looked like Evans was going to be able to cut that lead in at least half. Instead, they went to the bench with nothing, and we're on the verge of doing that again. Seeing some deja vu as the count now 0-2. Rojas singling to start the inning. Reinert reaching base on a hit batsman, and then Robinson and Holmes being turned back to the bench on strikeouts. And now the 0-2 count to Daniels. Flacker need one more pitch to get out of this inning, and did not get it by Daniels in that case, but Wekiva catching the break with that ball in foul territory. That was a hard hit ball. One of maybe two tonight that Evans has really been able to get any meat on.
And want to give a shout out to all of our streaming fans, wherever in the world you may be. Welcome, Virgin Islands. Jaden Graham has some family and friends there, and we welcome you to the broadcast as well.
And nope.
Yes.
No, it was strike 3, an odd-looking strike 3, but yes, deja vu, rack up 2 consecutive
Flacker records
innings.
the called strikeout, and that will take us to the middle of the fourth inning. In that half inning, no runs scored on 1 hit, with no Mustang errors, leaving 2 on base, and the score remains 8-0 Wekiva at the end of 3.5 innings. Back with more from Mustang Field after a quick break. As we enter the bottom of the fourth inning, the Mustangs will begin in the 5th position of their lineup with shortstop number 9, Darrell Martinez.
Wekiva with the 8-0 lead, and following Martinez will be Polanco and Bowen. At least they're scheduled. Immediately starts off this inning, hits that ball, rips it into left field. Martinez, and Wekiva with the chance to add to its lead right off the bat in the fourth inning.
Martinez is safe at first on a soft line drive to left center field. Next at the plate for Wekiva, second baseman number 6, Enrique Polanco.
So Polanco, need him to get a hit to keep that lineup moving in terms of being able to add to the 8-0 lead. And
strike at the plate, and easily beats the throw to second for the steal.
So Wekiva now with the runner in scoring position.
And Wekiva would need to score 2 in this half inning to put Evans on the clock and force them to get offensive production in the top of the fifth or face an early end of the ball game.
So Reiner gets his sign with the runner at second base. And that gets away from Robinson, but no advancement. It was actually a strike.
Yeah, you don't see that too often where the ball gets away from the catcher, but it was actually a called strike.
So Polanco, 0 for 1 tonight, did draw a walk in the third inning and scored. He was batting 167 heading into this game with 5 RBIs. And he'll be up at the plate for at least one more pitch. 1-1. 1-2 count. Sun now descending on Mustang Field right next to the 429. Wind's picked up a little bit. It's been blowing in from left field since the first pitch. And temperatures dropping into the mid-70s. Ball chopped down to the third baseman, Rojas. He fields it cleanly. Throw over to first, though. It's wild. And now rounding third, that's Martinez. He was on the move with the throw. He slides in, didn't need to. But the end result is 9-0.
Martinez scores on the E5. Meanwhile, Polanco is safe at first. Next to the plate, catcher, number 3, Cody Bowen.
And Bowen, he's 0-0 for 1 today as well. Was hit by a pitch in the third inning, scored a run as well. And he looks at ball 1. Wekiva scoring 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 1 here in the fourth. They have yet to get an out, so a runner at second base, or first base. And well, now it will be second base. Polanco easily taking second base as the ball goes by Robinson. So now 2 batters up. Not only did both reach base, but they are now both in scoring position. 9-0 lead for Wekiva, looking to up that 5-12 record. A very young team. Certainly a much different team than last year. Of course, part of that is the man on the mound right now. That's Zach Reinert as he delivers a high, hard one, but out of the strike zone to take the count to 3-0. Of course, Zach Reinert playing for 3 years here at Mustang Field, wearing the Wekiva uniform now with Evans. Drawing the starting assignment today. He gets the ball across, cuts it to 3-1 count on Bowen. The younger of the Reinert brothers deciding to stay in the Wekiva uniform.
Low and outside, and that'll be ball 4. Bowen walks to first, runners at 1 and 2 now. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, right fielder number 17, Austin Schwartz. And we'll pause for a timeout.
And Schwartz definitely standing out, at least statistically today. He's 3 for 3, a pair of singles and a double. 2 RBIs, but he scored 2 runs. Schwartz batting .286 entering today's game, so he should be over 300 now with that 3 for 3 performance. As we are getting a pitching change. The Walker, number 3.
Now on the pitcher's mound for the Trojans, coming in from shortstop is number 3, Kalen Walker. Excuse me, Kylan Walker, I'm being told, is the correct pronunciation. Get that right. So again, Wekiva with an opportunity here to force the issue. If Wekiva scores one more run before they pick up 3 outs, then that will put Evans under the gun that they must score in the top of the 5th.
And we also have a pinch runner, Mark.
Yes. While we are in the break, Skylar Rainey is coming in to run for Cody Bowen as a pinch runner. And once again, it is Kylan Walker on the pitcher's mound for the Trojans.
And Mark, of course, you've pointed out a couple of times 10-0 brings the game to the end, the 10-run rule. But there's also the 15-run rule. Let's not forget that. I know we're 6 runs away, but certainly with no outs, at least is something to keep in the back of the mind.
Yeah, I mean, it all is just a matter of whether Evans can tighten up their fielding game. All right, let's get back to it.
Back to live action. Schwartz at the plate.
At the plate now for the Mustangs is right fielder, number 17, Austin Schwartz.
Schwartz steps in looking for that 4th hit. And if he can get it, that certainly would be another one step closer to Wekiva securing victory. He starts off with strike 1 as Walker finds the inside part of the plate. So Reinert so far giving up 9 runs. Have it in a moment how many are earned, but 2 runners on are his responsibility. And speaking of hits, well, that's not a hit, but it certainly will have the same result. Schwartz reaching base for a 4th time, and now they're play over at third base. Still haven't gotten a signal from our umpire. He's walking over there, and now he's telling Polanco to go home. Not sure why, but the end result is once again the same end result as the ball being dropped in the outfield. It's a run scored. It would have happened either way.
And now we're going to get a coach's appeal from the Trojan side. I am not within earshot of the coaches and the umpires, so I cannot hear what exactly the call was, but just based on the body language, I'm inferring that there was perhaps either an interference call, that maybe the fielder interfered with the runner's base path. That would explain why only one of the runners advanced and not all of them. Because if you throw the ball into the dugout, all of the runners would advance.
Yes. Either way, though, the play started with the drop fly ball in center field by Bridges, which allowed not only Schwartz to reach base again for a 4th time, but the runners to advance to 2nd and 3rd.
Now we're going to get an umpires conference.
And, of course, once Polanco reached 3rd, that set up this, at least in my opinion, what seems to be a rather odd call. Not necessarily the fact that just the way the umpire went about it. Again, it was about 10 seconds before he made any signals. So we are actually about 7 feet up home plate on the first base side. So we are at almost the farthest distance from third base, and thus, as Mark pointed out, we cannot hear what the umpires are saying and can't really see any of their signals right away. In any case, it is going to stand. The decision is going to stand as John steps into the plate and patting down with his feet the cleat.
Next to the plate for the Mustangs, left fielder, number 15, Sean John.
And result is 10-0 lead. Runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out. John at the plate, looking for his first hit of the game. He's 0 for 1. Does have a walk in the 3rd inning. And now Walker back to work, as we are almost at nightfall at Mustang Field. Strike 1. First and 2nd, nobody out. A muddy swing on a pitch that skipped over the plate. Walker clearly fooling John that time. 0-2 count. John batting 100 for the season, also looking for his first RBI. Excuse me, he has 2 RBIs, now a 1-2 count. And there's strike 3, the first out of the inning. Desperately
Walker
needed by
records a
Evans.
swinging strikeout to put one away for the Mustangs. Next to the plate, the Mustangs return to the top of the card with third baseman number 2, Caden Lopez.
And as Mark said, this is the top of the lineup. And it's the 4th time that Lopez has stepped into the batter's box. 1 for 3 as he looks at strike 1. Single in the first inning, leading off the Wekiva offense.
Pitch in the dirt. And so on the wild pitch, the runners will advance, now at 2 and 3.
Lopez entering this game batting .306 with 1 RBI. Excuse me, 10 RBIs.
And if I remember the rules of baseball correctly, Neil, even if the catcher might have been able to make the stop with ordinary effort, if the ball touches the ground before it gets to the plate, it is always a wild pitch, never a passed ball.
2-1 count now. Bottom of the 4th inning, Wekiva has certainly taken advantage of what was expected to be a victory heading into this game. 1-9 record for Evans, Wekiva 5-12. Certainly nothing to write home about, but in comparison, certainly the better team. As the count now go 3-1. And first 3 batters reaching base for Wekiva, and they have not looked back since then. This is Lopez at the plate. Runners at first, runner at second and third, so certainly a chance for Wekiva can do even more damage. Get that lead beyond the 10 runs. Walker, who came in this inning, replacing Reinert, delivers. Got the strike, but it's going to be another run for Wekiva. Sliding in safe is Bowen. And 11-0.
Bowen is safe at home on the wild pitch. Runner now just at 3. And the Mustangs up 11-0 with a full count at the plate.
Lopez will be continuing, as you just heard Mark say. Of course, that's Mark Barchi. He's also our public address announcer. That's why you hear him talking.
Yes, and you may hear a little bit more thundering echo when
Yes.
I talk, and that's because you're hearing the reverb from the PA system as we get a foul ball.
Well, everybody back to your assigned position. Runner at third base now. That runner is Schwartz. Wekiva plating 3 runs in this inning, continuing their consistency. Walker gets his sign. No question about this. This is going to be in play. And sliding to try to catch it was Bridges. He's still on the ground. Robinson picks up the loose ball. And Schwartz easily scores on the
Schwartz
two-base
comes
hit.
in with the RBI. And meanwhile, Lopez is safe at second. Next to the plate, DH number 4, Brady Reinert. So, Neil, are you giving him the...
Yeah, I'll give him
the
a
hit for
double
that?
on that. To
Okay.
be honest, though, if you go to Fundamental 101, I'm sure any coach out there would tell you this, that play really started to turn into disaster because there was no communication between Bridges and Robinson. They both almost ran over each other. Robinson did, give Bridges credit. He tried to slide, although it was an awkward-looking slide. He was sliding backwards on his bottom. But he might have been able to come up with that if Robinson had given him some more space, the right fielder. So lack of communication there, your biggest problem. bunt dropped. It's a good one. Walker has to come off the mound and give him credit. He did a nice job of picking it up, throwing it to first across his body, and the second out is recorded.
Sacrifice made at first on the 1-3. 2 away now for the Mustangs. However, it does advance Lopez to third. Next at the plate for the Mustangs, first baseman number 12, Jaden Graham, who's having a bit of a day.
Graham 2 for 3, a couple of hits in the first and second inning. Struck out in the third. And speaking of strikeouts, he begins this at bat with unable to catch up with the heat right over the plate from Walker. And Graham coming in batting .350 with 7 RBIs. Of course, Graham, we've mentioned a couple of times, this is a very young Wekiva team, only 3 or 4 players. Graham being one of the players returning from last season, now a 1-1 count. So Wekiva certainly with the 11-0 lead in the bottom of the fourth, 12-0 lead, has positioned itself to win this game, which would be the 6th of the season against 12 losses. As Graham
picks up a called strike there.
2, and certainly the Evans bench agreed, and you could hear the decimal level certainly increase quite a bit there after that called strike. And there's strike 3 on Graham. And that will bring the inning to an end, unable to catch up with the high heat.
That takes us to the end of the 4th inning. 4 runs scored on 2 hits, with 1 Trojan error, leaving 1 on base, and the score now stands 12-0 at the end of 4 innings. Ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the 5th inning, and that means it's time for the 5th inning stretch. So we invite you to stand up, stretch your legs, and join us now for Take Me Out to the Ball Game. Take me out to the ball game, take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back, for it's root for the Mustangs. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Back with more from Mustang Field after a quick break. Welcome back to Mustang Field. As we enter the top of the 5th inning, the Trojans will begin in the 9th position of their lineup with second baseman number 5, Zaire Cornelius. All right, Neil, we are in the predicted scenario. Evans must score at least 3 runs to keep the game alive.
Yeah, top of the 5th inning, a 12-0 lead. For Wekiva, they've scored 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, and 3 in the fourth.
And of course, Flacker, if any more with the pitch count limits that were adopted by the NFHS a few years ago and the FHSAA, if you go to a 7-inning regulation game, it is frankly difficult for a pitcher, even who's having a great day and doesn't need to come off. It's frankly difficult to get a complete game by a single pitcher. But if you are able to get it done in 5, it is possible, at least at this point, that Flacker could get all 15 outs under his belt.
Yeah, speaking of Flacker, now with 8 strikeouts against 2 walks and a hit batsman. And that will take the count to 3-1. So certainly if you're Flacker, this is not the start you wanted. You don't want that leadoff man getting on in any situation, but certainly with that 12-0 lead and a chance to get the game over in 5. And as soon as I say that, he delivers strike 2, 3-2 count now. Of course, Evans did have a chance to get some runs in all 4 innings. They got a runner to third base in the first and second inning. Then the first 2 batters reached base in the third and fourth. Ball 4. High and tight.
Cornelius walks to first. And that means that the Trojans will return to the top of their card with center fielder number 7, Tariq Bridges.
So the third walk issued by Flacker, as Bridges starts with strike 1, squaring away to bunt. 7 batters in total have reached base against Flacker. As Mark said, he's trying to complete this game. Flacker, go the distance. And the throw down to second, an easy stolen base. Ball thrown to the left side of second base, and actually he's going to get all the way to third. It got by Martinez, the shortstop. So
yeah, and so there again, the rules of baseball, you cannot ever be charged with an error for failing to catch a runner stealing, even if it was a play that could have been made with ordinary effort. However, if due to a muffed throw or a muffed fielding decision, the runner gets an additional base beyond the one that they were trying to steal, that can, and in this case will, be recorded as an error. And now Bridges takes one to the ankle, so Bridges will advance to first on the hit batsman. That puts runners at 1 and 3 now. Bridges. For shortstop, number 3, now pitcher, number 3, Kylan Walker.
So Bridges striking out the first 2 times at the plate, reaches base for the first time. Walker, who is now the pitcher, he's 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout. And getting back to my point, I've mentioned this throughout the game. Despite the 12-0 lead for Wekiva, Evans has had some scoring opportunities. Could perhaps, if they were able to convert, have that lead at 12-6 at half of what it is now. They had runners at third base on the first and second inning as the count now 2-0. And now we've seen 3 consecutive innings where the first 2 batters have reached base against Flacker. 6 batters reaching base and only 1 getting on via the hit, as that'll cut the count in half at 2-1.
That one's headed into the softball field.
8 batters in total have reached base against Flacker. So Flacker has not been dominant. He's been efficient in terms of getting outs when he absolutely had to. As mentioned, the sign of an ace as the count now goes 3-1. And Evans has had their opportunities to score some runs, and perhaps not taking the lead, but certainly a much lower deficit than the 12-0 currently facing, as we will now have a full count.
Another one headed towards softball, so that'll make it a full count.
In each of those last 2 innings, too, Mark, got to add this in. After allowing the first 2 batters to reach base, Flacker then struck out the side 3 straight.
Yeah, and to your point, Neil, that's the sign of a mature player and a leader on the team, is somebody who can bounce back and not let it get in your head. Now this one's headed to short. Is it in time? No.
It was a long throw for Martinez. Martinez doing everything you're supposed to at that shortstop position and just could not get the ball fast enough over there, so it's an infield single.
Zaire Cornelius comes home on the infield single. Meanwhile, Walker safe at first, and the Trojans on the board. Next to the plate will be first baseman, number 9, Manuel Contreras.
So that does break the streak of getting those 3 straight strikeouts to end the inning after the 2 leadoff hitters reach base. And now we have a stolen base, no throw. So runners at second and third. Still nobody out. The first 3 batters reaching base in the top of the 5th. Ball
That's in
chopped.
play, and it is a line out.
Out at home plate. 1 run was scored, but Walker tagged out. Our umpire emphatically letting it be known. So
the runner is safe at first, but thrown out at home. That'll be 1 away for the Trojans. And now a runner at first. Next at the plate, be number 13, the third baseman, Adrian Rojas.
So the out at home plate, that is the first of the inning, and sets up Rojas, who, as you just heard Mark.
So let's see now. I'm trying to remember.
A runner at first.
So that's a single.
It's an infield single, a fielder's choice, and an out at home as the first ball pitch swung at and missed by Rojas. Rojas 1 for 2 today, a single. Delivery from
that's a ball low.
Yeah, ball from Reinert, or excuse me, from Flacker.
Yeah, that's one where, Neil, honestly, that's a good outcome for Wekiva. I mean, obviously the double play would have been best, but given the extraordinary effort that would have taken, you'd rather get the out at home with Evans getting a little bit greedy there rather than getting the play at first.
Yeah, keeps the lead above 10. We are in, as you like to say, Mark, on the clock territory, 10-run rule.
Flacker records the swinging strikeout, and that puts 2 away for the Trojans. Next to the plate for Evans will be number 8, Zachary Reinert.
So I guess perhaps apropos, not only in the fact that Reinert was your starting pitcher, but in the fact that he's a former Mustang. This used to be his former home. And 1 out. I'm not sure if Flacker's going to stay in. As you mentioned, you do have the pitch counts.
Yeah, and I don't have an accurate count here because of the equipment malfunctions we were having at the beginning of the game. I was not keeping good numbers on the pitches.
And yeah, Flacker's coming out. Just saw Coach Tate give the signal to Schwartz in right field, and now he's running through right field, crossing into the infield.
That's too bad because you hate to see a pitcher get 14 out of 15 outs. I mean, rules are rules. How many Ks you say Flacker has so far?
9.
9, and let's see. I have my notes. He came
in
in with 51.
So I would put him at 60. Yes. Flacker had 1 strikeout, at least 1 strikeout in every inning. A bit of an odd performance when you do look at those strikes. He had 3 in the 3rd and the 4th, and then 1 in the 1st, 4th, in the 1st, 2nd, and 5th inning.
Everyone else just moving around. Got it. He's a pitch count. So.
Yep, I figured. Emil Flacker will retire from the pitcher's mound with 9 strikeouts on the day, and that gives him an even 60 for the season to date, just over halfway through the season. Now on the pitcher's mound to take over for him will be number 17, Austin Schwartz.
Flacker also giving up 3 walks and 2 hit batsmen.
2 runs for Evans? I thought they called out at home. Yeah, let me double check.
So taking over for Flacker is Schwartz. Schwartz coming in, needing one more out.
And we got your scoreboard corrected there. Evans actually has picked up 2 runs in this half inning. And so one more will allow them to play on.
And this is Reinert in the plate, trying to keep this game going. Evans needs one more run to avoid that 10-run rule. It's not 10 runs. You have to be under 10 runs for the game to continue. So Schwartz takes over, 15.75 ERA, 0-3 record, 7th appearance, and 9 walks and 10 strikeouts, looking to get that last out against his former teammate. He'll take the count to 1-1. Wekiva needing one more out to get 6th win of the season against 12 losses. Evans 1-9. Right now just trying to avoid the 5-run, 10-run rule, 5 inning. And that'll certainly help. Bowen unable to snag that pitch, bouncing over the plate. Now a runner at third base. Of course, a runner in second base is considered scoring position anyway, but now you have 90 less feet to have to score that run, as that was also ball 4. Reinert takes first base as well.
Reinert advances to first, and that puts runners at 1 and 3. For catcher, number 4, Isaiah Robinson.
So Robinson will step in. Runners at first and third with 2 outs. As we are now at nighttime at Mustang Field, and there's the wild pitch, which is going to cut the lead down to 9. Scooting home, give the run to Contreras. To Contreras.
Contreras comes home on the wild pitch. 3 runs in the books for the Trojans. So that means we will be playing the bottom of the 5th inning after all.
So by no means a dominating performance from our pitchers. Flacker starting. Schwartz on the mound now. And there you see where it did finally catch up with them. Not being able to close out this game in the top of the 5th. Of course, Wekiva still with the comfortable 9-run lead as ball 3.
Yes, now I should
2-0 count.
Yeah, I should point out that while the 3rd run precludes Wekiva's ability to end the game in 4.5 innings, it does still leave the opportunity open to have a walk-off in the bottom of the 5th.
Schwartz gets his sign, runner at third base with the 2 outs. And we'll now have a 3-0 count. That run that was just scored by Contreras, that was charged to Flacker. Now Reiner, who's at third base, that is the responsibility of Schwartz on the mound now, and this runner will be as well. 4 straight balls to Robinson.
Robinson advances to first on balls, runners at 1 and 3. Next to the plate for Evans. Right fielder, number 10, Dion Holmes.
Holmes steps in. He's looking for his first hit in first time reaching base. He's 0 for 2 tonight. And he'll have runners at first and third with 2 outs. Chance to up the RBI. Of course, Wekiva continues to be 1 out away from getting out of this inning and not allowing any more runs in. And as soon as I say that, the second wild pitch uncorked by Schwartz. 12-4 now.
Reinert scores on the wild pitch to put 4 runs on the board for Evans.
And Robinson takes second base. So the 1-0 count now, bases are empty. Evans has avoided the game ending in the top of the 5th, and they gave themselves 2 runs now to work with. Delivery from Schwartz. That's outside, or was that a strike?
I don't know. The umpire gave kind of a shrug signal.
I believe the 1-1 count. Make that 2-1. That was clearly outside. Robinson down at second base. Just past 8 o'clock, Mustang Field the site. 429 overlooking the stadium. As there's a strike. And that'll take the count to 2-2. Schwartz trying to get one more strike now, get out of the inning and give his team a chance, a reasonable chance to walk off. They've scored at least 2 runs in every inning. That's why I say reasonable chance. And on the way down to third base before the ball was released, Robinson takes third base, and now the count going to 3-2. On home.
He thought that was ball 4. He had that same bit of confusion on that second pitch that you and I did. Like, was that a called strike or not?
So the full count pitch. Schwartz now sets. Runner at third with 2 outs. Top of the 5th. 12-4 lead, and there's ball 4. That was clearly out of the strike zone. So Schwartz will have to go at least one more batter to get out of this inning. And that batter will be C.J. Daniels, the left fielder. He's looking for his first hit of the game, 0 for 1.
Holmes walks to first, runners at 1 and 3 now for left fielder number 1, C.J. Daniels.
Daniels reaching base in the 3rd inning when he was hit by the pitch. Chance to up his RBI total as well as extend this game and put his team in a better position to force this game to go to at least the 6th inning. Wekiva did have a 12-0 lead, which would have, if it was in the end of the top of the 5th, that ball was stung hard. It would have been the 10-run rule, but of course the rule is that you do have to actually complete the half inning if you're the visiting team, which would be the top of the inning. Wekiva is scoring 3 runs in every inning except for the 2nd. They scored 2 in that inning. So if you can keep this lead at 8, you still have a reasonable shot of walking it off in the bottom of the 6th as the count goes 0-2. Schwartz gets his sign after planting. Here we go with the 0-2 count. One more strike needed. And trying to get Daniels to chase, but Daniels would have none of it. 9th batter in this inning as well. 12-0 lead entering the top of the 5th. Now 12-4, and there's 2-2 count. Daniels trying to get, Schwartz trying to get Daniels to chase a couple of outside pitches. The first one more clearly a chase pitch. So here we go again. Just past 8 o'clock. Oh. Try to get Daniels on the 2nd consecutive time. Same location. So full count. Runners at 1st and 3rd. 2 outs. Top of the 5th. Schwartz sets and delivers. And there is ball 4.
Nope.
That was strike 3.
Yeah, this umpire's a little subtle. It's hard to hear
Okay,
him from
well,
here.
the
That
freeze.
takes us to the middle of the 5th inning. And the Trojans rally with 2 outs to pick up 4 runs on 2 hits, with the Mustangers leaving 2 on base, and that is enough to keep the game alive. 12-4 the score. The Mustangs still hold an 8-run advantage going into the bottom of the 5th inning. Back with more from Mustang Field in a moment. As we enter the bottom of the 5th inning, the Mustangs start in the 4th position of their lineup with number 20, Emil Flacker.
And Flacker will be followed by Martinez and Polanco. And staying on the mound is Walker as he delivers strike 1. That was a nice looking pitch, Mark. And again, if you're just joining us, we are on the clock as far as the 10-run rule. If Wekiva scores 3 runs, this game will come to an end here in the 5th inning. If they don't, then we will go into the 6th inning. 1-1 count now on Flacker, the starter. He went 4 2/3 innings. Gave up those 3 runs, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts, and this is into foul territory and out of play. All 4 of those runs that Flacker gave up were earned. And Walker looking for that 3rd strike. Won't get it there. As a matter of fact, the ball gets away. So the 2-2 count now. Zach Reiner, the former Mustang, going 4 1/3 innings. Walker taking over for Reiner in the last inning, which was the 4th. Nightfall, darkness at Mustang Field now as the count goes full. Of course, we mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast, it's also opening day for Major League Baseball. Every team in action at the highest level of the sport. Ball slapped, hit hard, scooped up by Reinert. Long throw to first, safe.
Flocker beats the throw to first for the single. Runner at one now, next to the plate, shortstop number 9, Darrell Martinez.
So Martinez steps in. He's 3 for 3 today, 3 singles, scored 3 runs. And we saw that same play in the top of the 5th inning with Walker at the mound and Martinez in the hole fielding the ball. And sense of it was just so deep in the hole. Nice strike there from Walker on the curveball. Great job by both shortstops being able to scoop up that ball and make the throw, but they were just so deep in the hole that they couldn't get the ball to the first baseman in time. And now on his way to second, Flacker. And I bring that up because in the top of the 5th, that infield single that Walker was able to get, hitting the ball deep into the shortstop, really was what started their rally. It took them from having a couple batters on to that 4 runs.
Right, and yeah, that 2-out rally really was all the difference. I mean, we were ready to pack it up until Evans had that rally.
1-1 count.
Runner in scoring position for the Mustangs. Chopped high over the backstop and somewhere onto the roof of the concession stand, I think.
That'll take the count to 1-2. And there's strike 3. The tag applied.
Walker
Martinez down.
Records the swinging strikeout to put 1 away for the Mustangs. Next to the plate for Wekiva, second baseman number 6, Enrique Polanco.
Oh, Polanco, now it's his responsibility to keep that lineup moving. Runner at second with 1 out. As he looks at ball 1 from Walker. Polanco looking for his first hit of the game, although he's been on base twice. A walk and then an error by Rojas, a throwing error. Polanco batting 167 on the season entering the game. And now he takes the strike, 1-1 count. Need to get a hit here for Wekiva to walk this game off.
In the dirt, not enough, or not badly enough for Flacker to be emboldened to look at third.
Yeah, and actually you don't need just a hit, just need to get on base. So
correct.
Keep the lineup moving with no outs. Bowen on deck. The 2-1 count and make that 3-1.
Low and inside.
Flacker at second base. Ball sliced into foul territory over onto the softball field. So quick look ahead at the schedule here as well for this pitch. Well, actually, we'll do it after the pitch. Full count. And there's strike 3. Polanco freezes.
Walker records back-to-back strikeouts to put 2 away for the Mustangs. Next to the plate for Wekiva, catcher number 3, Cody Bowen.
And so Bowen steps in with 2 outs, runner at second base. He has yet to get a hit, but has reached base twice. Hit by bat. He was hit by a pitch as he looks at ball 1 and then walks, scored both times. And that schedule, I bring it up because tomorrow Wekiva does play Apopka, the annual Tater Bowl. If you're not familiar with Apopka, you're two high schools in the actual city. We're Wekiva, we're on the southeast side, Apopka over on the northwest side, heading towards Lake County as that now goes 2-0. And third base will be taken by Flack Hare.
And that one's kind of an unusual situation, Neil, because that's going to be an away home game.
Yeah, I was getting to the fact. But this is a geographical rivalry, very much like Florida, Florida State. You get more national, Auburn, Alabama, my old stomping grounds where I'm from, Michigan, Ohio State. It's a geographical rivalry, 5 miles separating the school. Most of the players grew up playing together and going to school in the support system or the feeder system. And that's going to cut the lead now to 13 to 5, raise the lead to 13 to 5.
Emil Flacker comes home. And that will make it a 13-4 ball game for the Mustangs.
13 to
and
4.
Clear out the bases.
So Wekiva now needing just one more run.
But they also have 2 outs.
Yeah, I was going to say, but Evans also needing only one more out. Then looking ahead next week, they play Mount Dora on the 1st, Davenport on the 3rd, Ridge Community on the 4th. And we will be at the end of the season the week after that, 2 weeks from today, as we now have runners on first base with Bowen taking a walk.
Bowen advanced first on balls. Next to the plate will be right fielder number 17, Austin Schwartz.
Colonial,
now pitcher, I should say.
Colonial on the 7th and Ocoee on the 10th.
So, yeah, tomorrow's game is a little bit of a unique situation. I do not believe we are going to be able to cover it because I did not have it on my schedule at the beginning of the season as a home game. And it is, in fact, not a home game, but it will be here at Wekiva because it is an away game at Apopka. However, Apopka's fields are under renovation, and so they're playing their home games here at Wekiva. So, again, it's an away game at Wekiva, if you can wrap your head around that.
Devin Johnson is in as a courtesy runner at first base.
And at the plate, as you said, Mark, is Schwartz. He rips that ball right down the third baseline under Rojas's glove. Rounding second, on his way to third. The throw.
And tagged out at third, and so that will take us to the end of the 5th inning. And the Trojans have hung on. The Mustangs have a 9-run lead at the end of 5 innings, so we will be playing a 6th, and we'll be back with more from Mustang Field in a moment.
So we begin the top of the 6th inning. Wekiva still holding a comfortable 13-4 lead, even though they were not able to close out the game and put the 10-run rule into effect. This is Cornelius at the plate. He's 0 for 1 today. A pair of walks, though. Scored a run in his last at-bat. That was the 5th. And as he now looks at a 1-1 count. After Cornelius, Bridges, and then Walker, Wekiva scored in every inning. 3 runs in the first, 2 in the second, 3 in the third, 3 in the third, and 3 in the fourth. And now a 2-1 count. They did score a run in the 5th inning, but that was not enough to close out the game. Two-one delivery from Schwartz, who came in the last inning. And actually, that's ball 4. So the leadoff batter once again reaches base for Evans. This time in the top of the 6th. Cornelius advances to first base on the walk. And that will bring to the plate number 7, the center fielder, Tariq Bridges. And that will be it for Schwartz as Coach Tate goes to his 3rd pitcher of the day. And this is, I believe, number 4. Yes, that is number 4, Brady Reinhardt. Brady Reinhardt. So, of course, we've mentioned it a couple of times in this game. His older brother, Zach, started for Evans. So, not at the same time, but certainly both Reinhardt brothers taking to the mound during the course of this game. Of course, Brady's task now is to get 3 outs, keep the score a 9-run differential, and give his team a chance to walk it off in the bottom of the 6th using the 10-run rule. And his first batter he will be facing will be Tariq Bridges. Now pitching for Wekiva, number 4, Brady Reinhardt. So Bridges, the lefty, steps in. 0 for 2 today, was hit by the pitch in his last at-bat. So Reinhardt coming in with a 9.07 ERA. First pitch is ball 1. This is his 8th appearance. Ten walks, 13 strikeouts, 14 2/3 inning as the count now 2-0. Make that 3-0 in a wild pitch. Cornelius scooting down to second base. We're in the top of the 6th inning, a 13-4 lead for Wekiva. They have led since their first at-bat. There's some high, hard heat. Bridges unable to catch up with. Now cut the count to 3-1. Reinhardt takes a look at this runner and delivers ball 4. So not the start that anybody wants from the Wekiva perspective. Puts runners at first and second. Still nobody out, and stepping up to the plate is Walker. Bridges draws the walk, putting runners at first and second base. Oh, there's a wild throw. And now a chance for Evans to do some more damage. Both runners in scoring position. The errant throw allows the runners to advance to second and third base. And at the plate, shortstop number 3, Kalen Walker. So Walker steps in, waiting for his first pitch. Now runners at second and third. And he won't have to worry about the runner at second anymore, as Brady having a rough start here. Oh. A wild pitch allows both runners to advance and score. Score now 13-5 in favor of Wekiva. So a 13-5 lead now, and a 1-0 count on Walker. That's ball 2. Strike 1. Much needed strike. Brady having his issues here in the early part of his performance. So certainly need to get a couple strikes to settle the settle the ship, so to speak. That ball ripped down to third base, right at Lopez. Long throw over to first. They get the out, but the run does score. And that'll cut the lead to 13-6. Walker doing his job. Walker grounds out to the third baseman, Lopez to Graham. However, the run does score, cutting the lead to 13-6. And now batting, the first baseman, number 9, Contreras. And there's ball 1. 13-6 lead now for Wekiva, and a 1-1 count as Contreras swung through that offering from Reinert. Ball golfed, straightaway center field, actually second base. And Polanco and Martinez get tied up. One of them is still down. The end result, though, is a runner at first base. And now we're going to get a stoppage as well. Still can't see who went down. End result, though, is Contreras is on first base. So the inning continues, just one out. So while we wait to see the outcome with the injured player here, now they're breaking up. So again, still don't know who went down. Martinez and Polanco running into each other. And it was actually, well, still don't know who went down, but whoever it was, he's now up. I couldn't see who went down because the team actually formed a wall in front of me on the infield side where the player went down. But whether it was Martinez or Polanco, he is okay. He's up, and we're back ready to play again. Now batting, the third baseman, number 13, Rojas. So Rojas steps in with runners at first. Runner at first. He gets a hold of that one into right field. Medium range, though. Put away by Schwartz. No runners advancing. And just what Reinert and Wekiva needed. A quick out. First of the inning. The second of the inning. The fly ball to right field. Caught by Schwartz for the second out of the inning. And that brings up to the plate number 8, Zach Reinert. So Reinert steps in, the lefty, with a runner at first and 2 outs. Lead now down to 13-6. Swings at the first pitch, a bouncing ball over to Polanco, who sweeps it up in his glove in the quick throw to first. So Wekiva does get out of the inning. However, they do give up 2 more runs. Still an opportunity to walk it off, but now they'll have to score 3 runs instead of 1. Reinert grounds out to Polanco for the third out of the inning. However, Evans does score 2 runs to cut the lead to 13-6, heading into the bottom of the 6th. The second bat. Okay, is Lopez leading off?
No,
is
John leading off.
John's leading off.
Noah James and Lopez.
Okay. The score as the bottom of the 6th inning begins, Wekiva 13, Evans 6. Stepping into the plate, the left fielder, number 15, John. And welcome back to Mustang Field for the bottom of the 6th inning. Wekiva with the 13-6 lead. As you just heard, that was John now stepping into the plate. He's 0 for 3 tonight with a walk. And that's strike 1. He will be followed by James and then Lopez. James, getting his chance to bat as unable to catch up on the high heat. That was John. So when Coach Tate brought in Brady Reinhardt onto the mound, he got rid of the DH. He wanted Reiner to stay in the batting lineup, which then made James eligible to bat as the count now goes 1-2. And yes, that pitch did hit John. So Wekiva gets the leadoff hitter on again with that 13-6 lead. John is hit by the pitch and awarded first base. That now brings up the center fielder, number 1, Noah James. So James steps in. This will be his first at-bat. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. Runner at first for Wekiva, nobody out. They have a 13-6 lead. And now James draws the walk to put runners on first and second. Now batting, the leadoff hitter, third baseman, number 2, Caden Lopez. Reinert? Was it? Right. So runners at first and second. Now with one out following the strikeout to Lopez. 2-0 count to Reinert. Reinert looking for his first hit of the game. Did reach base on a walk in the first inning. And now a 2-1 count. Reinert squares around, flashes the bunt, and won't have any of that pitch as he goes down to first base. So the base is now loaded. Still only one out. And that'll bring to the plate Graham. The walk drawn by Reinhardt, which loads the bases. So Graham at the plate. Couple of strikeouts and a double, and he begins his at-bat with strike 1. Now at the plate, first baseman, number 12, Jaden Graham. So Graham with the opportunity to get Wekiva closer to walking this game off. And now looking at a 1-1 count. Wekiva with the comfortable 13-6 lead. However, they have had a couple of opportunities to end this game before the seventh inning, the 10-run rule, as Graham swings through that high heat. Actually, that was more of mid-level heat. A 1-2 count now. As Walker continues on the mound, he's done fairly well for Evans since he came in the last inning. And yes, that is strike 3. Graham is retired via the strikeout and the second out of the inning. And that brings to the plate number 20, Emil Flacker. So Wekiva with one last opportunity to walk this game off in the 6th inning with Flacker at the plate, and he looks at ball 1. That'll be 2-0. So the pitch from Walker, and that's ticked off into foul territory. 1-2 count, 2-1 count. And that was close, but
Hardy swing there from Flocker. Apologies, I've been a little quiet for the last couple half innings. I've been breaking down everything I can. I got to go over and do senior night for water polo in just a moment. I will leave you in Neil's capable hands. I did get clarification from our athletic director, Coach Piaggi, as we go to a full count. What I said earlier was incorrect. Apopka's fields are back up and running now. They finished the work that was being done on those over the break, so tomorrow's away game at Apopka is actually at Apopka, not here. So it is what the schedule would imply that it actually is.
And there's ball 4. So that'll up the lead back to 8 at 14-6. Also give an RBI to Flacker.
Flocker advances to first with the base on balls. And that will send Richley home, making the score 14-6. Now at the plate for the Mustangs, shortstop number 9, Darrell Martinez.
So Martinez looking for his third hit of the game, a pair of singles. Struck out his last at bat. Bases remain loaded. Ball sent into foul territory. A 2-1 count now. Where? Oh, okay. Okay.
Martinez walks to first, and that will again force home a run as Noah James comes home. Next at the plate, second baseman, number 6, Enrique Polanco. So, Neil, something interesting is going to happen at the end of this at-bat. Either Polanco is going to get on base via either a walk or an in-play, and that will force home a run and end the game with a walk-off, or it will be the third out, and we will go to the 7th inning, and we're going to have a regulation game. One of those two things will happen on this very at-bat. We start with a foul.
So our umpire needing a few seconds here to shake that off, went straight onto his shin. So as you said, Mark, we are 50-50. It's either or.
Wekiva is either going to win or end the inning on this at-bat. There's the only two possibilities. There's nowhere else for the runners to go.
Polanco, by the way, he has yet to get a hit today. Does have a walk, reached base on an error, as he now looks at strike two.
Because of the foul. All the runners taking very healthy leadoffs because why the heck not?
Polanco scoring on both of those times he reached base. Let's see if he can get that one more reach base one more time. And nice job by Robinson. Excuse me, it's Reiner behind the plate now. One-two count. Make that 2-2, some chin music. The 2-2 count from Walker. Make that 3-2. We're going to go full count.
All right, so now the next
One
non-foul ball pitch is going to either end the half inning or is going to end the game.
Full count. Walker gets the sign, back to work. And we got 50-50, two outcomes. Here's the pitch. And that is the one that Wekiva wanted. That will end the game. The 10-run rule in effect, 16-6. It wasn't pretty, but Wekiva did.
Takes us to the end of the ball game as the walk-off forced in 16-6 is your final score here on Thursday night baseball action. We want to thank everyone for coming out to support your Mustang and Trojan athletes. Thanks also to those of you who joined us on YouTube or the NFHS network. In total, 16 runs on 8 hits with 2 errors for the Mustangs, 6 runs on 4 hits with 7 errors for the Trojans. 16-6 your final score from Mustang Field. For those of you here in the ballpark, we hope you'll please drive carefully and arrive home safely. Those of you listening online, we hope you'll subscribe before you go. We also want to remind you the Mustangs are playing at Apopka tomorrow. Apopka's field is back in action, so that away game at Apopka actually will be at Apopka. Apopka's no longer playing their home games here at Wekiva, so we hope that you will join Wekiva on the road tomorrow. We'll see you next time. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Wekiva Sports, and bookmark WekivaMustangs.com for all your scores, schedules, and more. Good night from Mustang Field.